Well, if I'm gonna disappear into nothing, I might as well bang my mom. Hey, Lorraine, wait up!
Harry, my name's Marty.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the Family Guy jokes that were too much for prime time.
Oh no! Who will pay for my saxophone lessons?
Some spoilers will be mentioned, so this is your official warning. Number 30, Michael J. Fox as Zorro.
Well done, you barnacle-munching scallywiggers!
Sir, we've got a man down.
Oh my God, Adrian Beakey!
Not even the most wholesome celebrities are safe from this show's twisted sense of humor. Thanks to films like Back to the Future, Michael J. Fox became one of the most beloved stars of the late 20th century. He shocked fans when he revealed his Parkinson's diagnosis. You'd think such a serious illness would be considered off-limits, but not to Family Guy. The death of Peter's parrot makes him realize he messed up worse than Disney casting Fox as Zorro.
I've screwed up worse than Disney did when they cast Michael J. Fox in that Zorro remake.
The scene then cuts to the fictional movie, where the masked man's famous insignia is now unintelligible. It's clearly a dig at one of the disease's most recognizable symptoms.
That's the man who saved us.
I don't know, but he left his insignia.
A ridiculously low blow, even by the show standards. Number 29, Peter shaves Quagmire's cat.
Hi, James. Oh, my God. Watch when I scratch his bottom. He sticks his fanny in the air.
Animal lovers may want to skip this one. While 420 is famous for its hilarious plot about weed becoming legal in Quahog, the inciting incident that leads up to it isn't quite as funny. Quagmire adopts a cat named James and immediately becomes attached to him. This immediately annoys the rest of the gang, so much so that they decide to shave him as a prank. Peter immediately slaughters the cat to the horror of his friends.
Oh my God!
Peter, you killed it!
He brushes it off, claiming it has 9 lives. This prompts him to keep going, counting down each time he cuts, all while James's blood continuously splatters onto him. It was shockingly violent, and the callback later on was the cruel cherry on top.
Hey, guys, I want you to know I'm raising my reward to $50 for anyone who can help me find James. No questions asked.
I killed your cat.
Number 28, Juice will not replace us.
That statue was a travesty, and so is the brewery. They should close it and make juice instead.
What?
Not every real-life moment needs to be turned into a silly joke. After Brian tears down a statue commemorating problematic Quahog hero Pawtucket Pat, members of the town, including Peter, take to the park to express their anger. A group of counter-protesters arrive, insisting that the brewery should be closed and make juice instead. Furious, Peter starts a chant that sounds eerily similar to the one used by white supremacist groups during the 2017 Unite the Right rallies in North Carolina.
How dare you! Juice will not replace us! Juice will not replace us! Juice will not replace us!
It's intended to be a silly pun making fun of their misplaced anger, but it's so on the nose that it skips right over being funny and just becomes cringe instead.
All right, no more politics. Time for trains in the basement.
Number 27, Peter keeps Connie warm.
Connie, you are really pretty. I mean, you have filled out something wacky.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Griffin.
I like what you're doing with your boobs. Dad!
She may be a villain, but she still doesn't deserve this. Throughout the series, Connie D'Amico has been Meg's biggest rival. Connie gets a taste of her own medicine when she fake dates Chris to make him popular, and is subsequently ditched by him. Peter's attraction was immediately clear, starting with an innuendo that ends in a movie reference.
Look at that Connie. So young and live. Look at the shape of that body. Look at the shape of that body. That's it, Brian. That's where One-Eyed Willie buried his gold.
His behavior later escalates when Chris shoves Connie. Peter suggests lying on top of her to keep her warm, and then immediately acts on the idea. It's an uncomfortable sight, which he acknowledges by looking at the viewers and accosting them for their potential shock.
Oh no, Connie's been hurt. I guess I should lie on top of her to keep her warm. What are you looking at? It's a cartoon!
It's clear they knew they were going too far and just didn't care. Number 26, Peter's ghost costume. Peter isn't exactly the sharpest tool in the shed, But this ignorance often goes too far. Jerome was introduced in Season 8. After learning he dated Lois, Peter becomes so envious that he burns his friend's house down, forcing Jerome to move in. His jealousy grows.
We're just friends, Peter. Don't tell me you're jealous.
What, you dating that guy? It's just a lot to take in.
Oh, yeah? You're telling me.
Oh, come on, those kinds of jokes aren't helping.
In an attempt to make him leave, he donned a white hooded robe and brandished a torch, a direct parallel to members of the Ku Klux Klan. When confronted, he said Jerome wouldn't want to stay in a house haunted by a fire-carrying ghost.
Peter, take that thing off.
Hey, what the hell's going on?
I'll tell you what's going on. I have had about enough of you, Jerome.
It's clear they were trying to point out that Peter is so stupid he didn't realize what he was doing. But it didn't land at all.
Wow. What just happened was kind of sad. Na, 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 na.
Number 25. Dear Diary, Jackpot, Quagmire has been a menace since the show's earliest days. In this Season 3 episode, the subplot revolves around Stewie joining the cheer squad so that he can learn their supposed mind control powers. He easily infiltrates the group and eventually kidnaps Cindy, the head cheerleader, so that he can take her place.
You know, Cindy, I'd feel worse about this if you didn't spell your name with that insufferable I at the end. Oh, and that cock-a-doodle smiley face you used to dot it. You sicken me! I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you.
He ends up forgetting her afterwards. When the squad wonders where she is, it cuts to Quagmire, finding her bound and gagged in the bathroom. As she lay there, struggling and attempting to ask for help, he merely leers at her and says he hit the jackpot. It was disgusting, even for him, showing just how vile he used to be.
Dear Diary, Jackpot.
Number 24, Minions 3, with Harvey Weinstein.
Now open mine.
Minions 3?
Yeah, in this one, Gru has been replaced by Harvey Weinstein.
Family Guy has never been afraid to reference uncomfortable moments. However, the way they address certain issues only highlights how depraved they are. One of the best examples is in Bry Robot, wherein Brian is given a copy of Minions 3. Lois points out that in this iteration, Gru is replaced by defamed producer Harvey Weinstein. It then cuts to the faux film, showing the Predator in nothing but a robe. He makes an innuendo about the creature working for bad guys and tells it to touch him. The Minion responded with a fearful rendition of one of their popular phrases, making the implications clear. Seeing a character from a children's movie juxtaposed with such an evil man was far more jarring than humorous.
Oh, you like working for bad guys? I'll show you, bad guy. Now you touch it. You know what to touch.
Banana.
Number 23, Stewie's Lollipop. If you thought the juice joke from this episode was in poor taste, then wait until you hear this. While in the park to tear down the Pawtucket Pat statue, Stewie takes a moment to use the public bathroom.
Stewie, no.
He emerges a moment later with a lollipop. But a second later, text appears on the screen saying that he was assaulted and merely imagining it, as if that wasn't harrowing enough. Brian then pretends to see the candy as well, simply so he won't have to have a long talk about it. It's cemented how much of a scumbag the dog could be, but the implications of what happened to poor Stewie were anything but comical.
Now let's stop talking about that lollipop and get to work.
Number 22, Horton hears domestic violence.
It's easy working all day?
No,
You think I like it?
I don't think it's easy, but yes, I do think you like
No,
it.
I like being away from you because I can't stand looking at you.
If there's one thing this series isn't afraid to do, it's ruin the innocence of some of our favorite children's media. One of the most infamous examples occurs when Stewie and Brian come across a copy of
Horton hears domestic violence in the next apartment and doesn't call 911.
a parody of the Dr. Seuss classic. It then cuts to the elephant sitting in his home and reading, while the sound of slightly muffled screams and physical abuse is heard off-screen. He ignores it, saying there must be two sides to the story. The abuse sounds so realistic that it ends up making the whole cutaway uncomfortable, even for the edgiest of viewers.
I'm sure there's two sides to this.
Number 21, Quagmire attacks The Simpsons. It's no secret that Family Guy and The Simpsons have been in competition since the former started airing in 1999. The latter wasn't shy about poking fun at their successor, and eventually, the Family Guy writers struck back. During a now-removed scene in Season 6, a fake ad for The Simpsons appeared, showing Marge waving to the camera. Quagmire suddenly pounced on her and chased her off screen to presumably assault her.
If you're just stringing her along, well then I gotta say, I've lost a lot of respect for you, Brian.
They then went back to the Simpsons' home to hook up again, leading to him slaughtering the entire family.
Wow, 3 times in a row! You're amazing, Glenn!
Oh, I just take a lot of pride in what I do.
It was a bizarrely violent escalation that forced producers to cut it from the initial broadcast. The joke still lives on in some versions, but time hasn't made it any funnier.
Ugh, you shot my homie! I'm calling the police!
Number 20. Aquaman's Limitations. Aquaman, perhaps prior to some more recent casting choices, didn't have the best reputation. He's a fish guy, powerful in the ocean, but what about on land? Family Guy decided to poke fun at Arthur Curry, yet could perhaps have gone about it a little differently. A woman is shown being assaulted on a beach, crying for help.
Hey, let her go.
Or what?
Or, I don't know, man, but you're lucky you're not doing that over here in the ocean, or I would stop you.
Aquaman pokes his head out of the ocean at a distance, yet stays where he is, confined to the ocean. He tosses a harmless starfish and threatens the criminal with fish backup. When the woman asks why he won't help, he gives a pretty insensitive response.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have let him on.
We get the Aquaman criticism, but can't help but think this joke would have worked showing any other crime. Number 19. The Ipecac Contest. Longtime fans of Family Guy will be far too familiar with this scene. It never gets less disgusting, even so many seasons later. In a Season 4 episode, Peter gets a hold of some Ipecac, a syrup made from plant extracts traditionally used to rapidly induce vomiting.
All right, you guys, I got 8 crates of Ipecac from Mort, all on my tab.
Well, the Griffin boys have a contest to see who can go the longest without vomiting. What follows is a full 1-minute scene of continuous puking. The 4 end up writhing in agony on the floor, vomit lining every piece of furniture and most of the floor.
Who wants chowder?
If that wasn't enough, a Season 11 episode where time is reversed shows it again, but Brian and Stewie have to endure it backwards. Number 18. Peter Griffin Jr.'s demise. Did you know the Griffins had 4 children?
4 children. 4 children.
There's Meg, Chris, Stewie, and the dearly departed Peter Jr. In a Season 7 episode, a cutaway reveals a funeral scene in which Peter consoles a crying Lois over the grave of Peter Jr. In a gentle voice, Peter says he thought the infant would stop crying if he shook him hard enough.
I'm sorry, Lois. I thought if I shook him enough, he'd stop crying. I was kind of right.
It goes without saying that shaken baby syndrome is one of the leading causes of infant death. So the joke is quite provocative. Those vaguely familiar with this condition may guiltily giggle, and those all too familiar will likely not. Number 17. Domestic violence. In a Season 10 episode, we're reintroduced to Quagmire's sister Brenda and her aggressive boyfriend Jeff.
When we were kids, our mother used to sing a song when we were sad. Maybe that'll help now.
Come on, Brenda. A stupid nursery rhyme isn't going to wake him up, especially the way you sing. Right, man?
She refuses to leave him, despite his clear physical and mental abuses towards her. Quagmire and friends end up secretly putting an end to Jeff and faking a farewell letter to Brenda. This episode generated a lot of controversy, as it was unlike the show to take on such a heavy topic. In all fairness, they handled it with care, but it was perhaps too serious for a show like Family Guy.
I guess he's really gone.
It takes away from the severity of the situation. Also, the episode's title, Screams of Silence, the story of Brenda Q, mocks those melodramatic TV movies, which also arguably lightens the mood unnecessarily. Number 16. Jesus Visits Quahog. There are a lot of jabs at Christianity in Family Guy. Jesus himself is a reoccurring character, yet prior to this season 7 appearance, he was pretty much only in cutaways. In the episode I Dream of Jesus, Peter runs into Jesus, who claims he's secretly hanging out on Earth.
Are you Jesus Christ?
No.
Oh my God, you are! You're Jesus Christ!
No, I'm not. I'm just a guy working at a record store.
Peter persuades him to reveal his presence publicly, and Jesus reluctantly does so. He then becomes a sort of fame-hungry diva, appearing on various talk shows and shunning Peter for groupies and limousines.
It doesn't look like there's any room.
What do you mean?
Well, there's only one space left, and I promised it to that cow.
This is gonna be so much fun!
Reactions were not favorable to the portrayal of Jesus as a famous snob. A season 13 episode sees JC faking virginity in order to sleep with people's wives. So, yeah.
Jesus ain't no virgin. He did the same thing to me last Christmas.
He what?
Yeah, Jesus did the same thing to my wife Christmas before last and my buddy's wife the year before that.
Number 15. Brian gives Stewie an STI. Brian and Stewie have been in a lot of adventures, some good, some bad, and some ridiculous. In an episode titled Herpy the Love Sore, Stewie learns about blood brothers and performs the ritual with Brian.
I think we should hold hands more often.
There you go. We're blood brothers now. You happy?
Actually, yes. I mean, I really feel the bond, Brian.
However, he gets a little more than he anticipated when he wakes up with a herpes outbreak. Stewie is shunned by his daycare friends, has to call a former partner, hilariously a ripoff of Bob the Builder named Handy Manny, and confess to Rupert.
Rupert, you know how we promised never to lie to each other? Well, I lied earlier tonight. It's not a burn from Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Brian continues to hide his affliction from his dates, but is thankfully stopped by Stewie and Chris.
Ew! I'm sorry, Brian. I've got to go.
Damn it, you guys! Her dad's really rich!
Wow, you weren't kidding.
Yeah.
Critics considered the episode one of the worst, as it inaccurately portrayed the virus as well as reduced it to mere fodder for gross-out humor. Number 14. Brian cleans Stewie's diaper. The Season 8 episode, Brian and Stewie, is different from your average episode, as it features no cutaways and serves to further develop the characters and friendship of Brian and Stewie Griffin. Nice, right? Well, it can't go a full episode without something gross. The dog and baby end up accidentally locked in a bank vault over a weekend.
What was that? I don't believe this. Hello? Hello? We're locked in!
Despite his wit and seeming maturity, Stewie is still a baby and inevitably ends up with a dirty diaper. In desperation and complete lack of a change, he asks Brian to consume the contents of the diaper, which Brian hesitantly complies.
There's just one part left.
What are you talking about? There's nothing left. Look, the diaper's completely clean.
Critics were understandably repulsed, disturbed, and completely grossed out. Number 13. Reactions to Ida. Glenn Quagmire loves the ladies so much, so you would expect the elder Quagmire to be the same, or even more of a womanizer. To subvert expectations, Seth MacFarlane and company went in a different direction, one that was roundly criticized.
Dad, they're here!
At ease, ladies. Hey, Glenn, you're not going to give your dad an entrance?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Guys, watch this.
Are you ready, Boots?
Quagmire Sr. comes to Quahog, revealing herself to be transgender and planning to undergo gender-affirming surgery.
No, it's okay. It's a perfectly normal question. We can't sit here and just pretend everything's the same. It is a big transition for me, yes.
That in itself isn't over the line, but the transphobic jokes were. Especially when Brian sleeps with Ida Quagmire and vomits upon learning of her transition. Many groups raised serious concerns about the episode, including the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, or GLAD, saying it used offensive language and perpetrated harmful stereotypes about transgender people. For his part, Seth MacFarlane stood by the episode, believing it to be a sympathetic portrayal. Number 12. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial. The cutaways, a constant source of potential outrage. In a Season 8 episode, a trip to the nation's capital finds Peter and the gang driving by the Vietnam Veterans Memorial.
And there's the Vietnam War Memorial.
Hey, check out that Vietnamese guy giving the business to those Vietnam vets.
Peter points out a Vietnamese man giving the business to Americans. We then see 2 U.S. veterans visiting the memorial and being taunted by a Vietnamese veteran who refers to the memorial wall as a scoreboard, then points to a specific soldier on the wall whom he claims he killed.
Oh, what happened to your friend? Hey, I know that guy. I killed him. He cried like a bitch. Vietnam, undefeated.
It's really easy to see why this was ill-received by many, as it reduces the seriousness and massive death count of war to a sport. Some fans claim the gag puts down those who are already down. Number 11. The Whale and the Forklift. Any fan will recognize that Family Guy loves jokes that wear out their welcome. Remember that dead frog joke? Well, that was nothing compared to this one. In a 2014 episode, Peter gets a forklift and, of course, shenanigans ensue. It goes a little too far when he arrives on a beach to aid the rescue of a beached whale. In an attempt to lift the animal, Peter instead impales it with the forklift prongs and spends nearly a full minute trying to get the whale into the water, gruesomely destroying it in the process.
This whale's beached himself. He needs to get back in the water or he'll die.
Step aside, I'll handle this. Give me some room.
Is it funny or just nauseating? Oddly enough, something similar actually happened in 2015, when a whale corpse being airlifted made a mess on a Uruguayan beach. Number 10. The JFK Pez Dispenser. In a Reddit AMA forum in 2017, a Redditor asked Seth MacFarlane if he regretted any Family Guy scenes. Out of all the scenes one might expect him to name, MacFarlane answered that he could do without the JFK Pez dispenser scene. In Season 1, Episode 5, a child exits a store and proudly displays his John F. Kennedy Pez dispenser, only to have its head promptly shot off.
Check it out. It's a John F. Kennedy Pez dispenser.
He then pulls a Robert Kennedy dispenser out, saying he's glad he still has that one.
Well, good thing I still have my Bobby Kennedy Pez dispenser.
The former president and senator were both assassinated, making this joke quite distasteful. In fact, the scene was cut from earlier DVD releases of the show. Number 9. Michael J. Fox's Wine Party. Family Guy occasionally features self-aware cutaway gags where they break the fourth wall to apologize or explain the jokes. This cutaway was introduced as usual, but cut to Peter against a plain background, explaining that they won't show it because it will make us all sad.
See, he has this disease, and it makes him shake a lot, and what with all the shaking, he spilled his wine all over my shirt, and my shirt was ruined. So that's what that was.
They, of course, show it anyway. Michael J. Fox, with a tray of wine-filled glasses, inevitably spills it all on Peter's shirt due to his Parkinson's disease. However, Fox himself has a sense of humor about his ailment, so we have to wonder if he was offended by these. Number 8. The Boston Marathon. This cutaway was already in poor taste, yet was also the victim of really bad timing. The 11th season episode, Turban Cowboy, features a cutaway in which Peter won the Boston Marathon. The thing is, he wasn't running but driving through the crowd.
I haven't felt a rush like this since I won that marathon.
About 1 month after this episode aired, the Boston Marathon bombings took place, taking the lives of 3 people and causing injuries for hundreds of attendees. The episode was pulled from airing again on Fox, as well as multiple streaming services.
I'm Bob Costas, here with Boston Marathon winner Peter Griffin. Peter, how did you do it?
There are some grim jokes on Family Guy, and this one isn't much different. The coincidence, however, is uncanny. Number 7. Somewhere That's Green. One resident of Spooner Street has a penchant for the youthful. You know who we're talking about, Herbert. He's repeatedly shown interest in Chris, and in one particular episode, Herbert daydreams about his potential life with him. He sings Somewhere That's Green from the musical Little Shop of Horrors. In the original song, the character Audrey sings of her potential perfect life with Seymour, having left behind her abusive boyfriend. Herbert imagines his perfect life, with himself as the wife.
A picture out of better homes and gardens magazine.
The problem here is that Herbert is clearly an offender, and these types of scenes appear to lessen the severity of the problem. Some viewers have surmised that his age and feebleness take away from the clear offense. Number 6. The Terry Schiavo Musical. The Terry Schiavo case, for those unaware, was a notorious court case that spanned several years. In 1990, Teresa Marie Schiavo, then 26 years old, collapsed in her home. Though she was resuscitated, the lack of oxygen to her brain had caused massive, irreparable damage.
Her husband vowed to make her well again and took her to numerous doctors and rehabilitation centers. But years later, after winning a $1 million malpractice judgment, Schiavo said he realized his wife would never recover.
After 2 months, doctors declared her vegetative. In 1998 began a 7-year-long court case, riddled with appeals. Schiavo's husband wished to remove her breathing tube, whereas her parents wished to keep her alive. Family Guy decided that the case would make a great musical for Stewie and his daycare buddies.
Terry Schiavo is kind of a live-o, the most expensive plant you'll ever see.
It's easy to see why this was in poor taste. Number 5. Peter the High School Student. In a Season 9 episode titled Trading Places, Peter and Lois trade lives with Chris and Meg.
Wow, guys, you hear that? A raise. Interesting. Seems like the kids are doing pretty well at this grown-up thing, huh? I would suggest that you suck that.
This means Peter and Lois are high school students, and Peter takes this to a dark place quickly. He enters the kitchen the morning before school in an intimidating outfit, wielding a shotgun. He claims to want revenge for how the popular kids treated him. Lois tells him to call it off, which he tries and fails to do according to the response on his phone.
Peter, no, you're just a normal high school kid.
Oh. Hey, Lance, it's off.
There have been too many such real-life incidents to count, especially since the episode aired in 2011. This gag hits too close to home. Number 4. Peter has dark thoughts. There are some things that arguably shouldn't be joked about. Make what you will of this one. The subject matter is touchy, but the punchline crosses the line, in our opinion.
Peter, put that knife down.
Lois, I don't have any friends.
Peter asks Lois how to take his own life. From another room, Meg, often a dark character, answers him, even giving him tips. This joke is as dark as jokes can get, and could have a negative effect as well, as the information provided is accurate from a medical perspective.
Meg is right.
Okay, I'll be in the garage.
It's common to use comedy to deal with hardship, but there's a limit. Number 3. You have AIDS. Using a barbershop quartet to deliver bad news is potentially funny, but there's always a line. In a Season 4 episode, we're shown one of Peter's countless alternate careers. He's part of a quartet that eases the blow of tough hospital news by singing it. Cue You Have AIDS.
I don't know how to tell you this, Mr. Devaney, so I'll let these guys do it.
You have AIDS.
Yes, you have AIDS.
I hate to tell you, boy, that you have AIDS.
Family Guy staff members reportedly defended the scene, claiming that the tasteless absurdity of the situation was the joke. Again, this could be seen as subjective. A Season 19 episode sees Peter revisit the moment, now partly regretting it. At least he knows what he did.
You have AIDS. Ooh, and next door is a classic song about AIDS that I now partly regret. What a blessed day in Cutaway Land.
Number 2. I Need a Jew. Religious territory is sometimes close to hot water, and it's easy to fall in. In a Season 3 episode, which was actually pulled from airing for some years, Peter finds himself in need of a good accountant. He sings a song where he wishes for a Jewish person to come help with his finances.
I gotta get a Greenstein or a Rosenblatt of my very own.
The Jewish financial stereotype isn't new, and is normally taken in stride or even laughed about. But this time, Family Guy was sued by Bourne Music Company, original owners of When You Wish Upon a Star.
I need a
They claimed that the parodied version contained offensive lyrics and took away from the wholesome nature of the original. They lost the case in 2009, and the episode was returned to syndication. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Cosby Show credits. In a season 14 episode, in what at least one viewer called a swift dose of cruel truth, The Cosby Show's opening sequence is reimagined knowing what we know now. The classic TV sitcom opening credits sequence is then shown, with Bill Cosby dancing and pulling faces as he used to, yet his co-stars are not well. This refers, of course, to the at least 60 women having accused Cosby of sexual misconduct. Honestly, it is a joke that makes us uncomfortable, but as stated above, it removes a mask we perhaps wanted to keep on. What do you think?
Which Family Guy joke do you think went too far? Let us know in the comments below.
Oh, okay, here it comes, James. Here comes the part I was telling you about. Ah, you're one of those.